Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Stetsford HQ. We're going to find Nana. She's in here. Hold on, let me connect. Bad reception, I think, down here.
It's bad reception?
Yeah.
Well, it's not normally.
Well, I think it is.
Is it connected?
Yeah, we're connected, yeah.
We're connected. Okay, has anybody joined us? Because we'll do joining from here first.
Do you know why? I can't see.
What?
Because you've made your things big.
Yeah. So you can't see people's comments?
Yeah, I can see Liam, Nicola.
You can see them there now.
But I don't know if I'll be able to read the comments.
Oh, God.
So.
And I don't know how we actually make the comments smaller.
Nor do I, while we're doing this, so.
No, I don't. So who's joined us? Nick?
Philip's there.
Phil and Lee.
Phil said afternoon. I can read the comments.
Hi, Philly. So if you just joined us anyway, here we go. Another Christmas tour, another year's gone by.
Russell's there.
Hiya, Russell, you're late. You should be first off the starting blocks, Russell. We've not been live for a couple of weeks, because I haven't had time. We're doing this lot. So, welcome to our Christmas house.
Hiya, Charles.
The first year, will you not do hellos until I do them? All right.
You don't know who's coming, so how can you know?
Wait till I finish talking, darling, because if you keep interrupting, I'm going to forget where I'm up.
Tom said, have you got fresh tights on?
No, I've not got crusty old ones on. So, a full year's gone by, and it's the first time in my entire life I've had Christmas up so early. And I just think I went along with the flow with all the coronavirus crap and everything that's going on and lockdowns and everything. I did agree with the theory of we need a little Christmas, and I thought we needed it earlier, and I saw that everybody else was doing it earlier. So unlike my usual self, I followed suit and went with the flow. So I did everything early. So it took about two and a half, nearly 3 weeks to get everything in place. Would you say about 3 weeks, David?
No sound. Can no one hear what's going on?
Somebody tell me if you can hear me. If not, we'll have to start again.
Back on now. Russell, are you winding me up? You twat.
If you're winding us up, don't, because we've got really bad reception at the moment. So, I forgot what I was saying now with idiots. This has got to go on freaking YouTube and you're all camping about. So, as I said, I went with the flow and I did Christmas early because I think we needed it. I think we need a bit of joy. So anyway, this is our pink living room, or the den, depending on what mood I'm in that day. Sometimes we call it the den, sometimes...
Phil said, oh, you're in the pink room.
Yes, Philly knew where I was because he knows the house inside out. So it's called the pink room because everything is pink. So for this Christmas, I kept this room to... Nothing is new, by the way. I will point out something is new. But nothing is. Very little is actually. There are a few new things. But I do like to use the same things over and over again. I think that's what Christmas is about. Everything should have a memory. And as you know, I like everything to have a vintage theme. I don't like anything that's modern. I can't stand it. I don't think that's what Christmas is about. And you'll sort of realise that the further we get through the house. Because I also have the theory that every single room in the house should reflect Christmas, including the bathrooms, which I'm not going to take you in today, but all my towels have got Merry Christmas on them, and holidays, and the soap dispensers are Christmas themed ones. I even do the bathrooms, because I think no matter where you go, for a few weeks of the year, it should be Christmas permanently. So I like it to look like Santa's took a great big crap on top of the house, and it's everywhere. So, as I said, this is our den, the pink living room, which we spend daytimes in, and my mum uses it most of the time. Mummy's in here a lot. So, what can I say about this room? We have done, everything is white. You saw a lot of this in the orangery in the house last year. So I did the mantles all in whites and creams, and this blush, silver, and this like strange colour that I don't even know what it's called, that I had box loads of. God knows where I got them from. And these little smatterings of blue. Because the room was green, I didn't want to add too much green in because the room's pink and green. So I added little bits of blue because the Christmas cushions, the pillows, throw pillows, they've got blue and green in them. So I added little bits of blue. Always a thing tree in this room because I don't have the room to put a big one. So it's a 6-foot pencil tree that's completely frosted, and it's mounted on a table. I've mounted it on a table to give it height behind the chair because if it was on the floor, the rooms are 12 feet tall, so it would look absolutely ridiculous. So, you know, well, 10 feet.
Yes,
sorry.
they are, Tom.
12, what?
The rainbows. The reindeers on the windowsill are new.
Yes, the reindeers on the... That Tom asking that. The reindeers on the window ledge are new. I've got 2 sets of those, and they're Costco, if anybody wants to know where they're from.
Not that dear. I think they're only
really cheap. They were
£30, I think,
£30
for
the
2.
set of 2. So I bought 2 lots, and then I mounted them with some branches and fake poinsettia. The little trees in between were from Philly and Liam's wedding, and I've got 3 of those.
Well, you can't really see them from a distance.
Blue. If you go in on it, David, and
see the little trees, Philip and Liam. Remember those?
So they were table centres
3 years ago.
So I did that. There's one on there. I also added in here because I've got a lot of vintage pink and white china that's oddments, like these that are Dalton collectible ones, and the big Dalton one which I hung. I took pictures down because I think the best thing to do at Christmas is take everything out of your room, which I did to do this. Everything was taken out, every ornament, every lamp, every table. I removed everything, put all the Christmas in, and then put slight pieces back of the house, so that when you take your tree down and Christmas goes out of the house, your room doesn't look bare. Because I think that's the most horrible time of the year, in January, when the room becomes so bare and there's nothing in it. So if you've got all your nice things to put back and your normal throw pillows and things, you know.
Hi, Alison, Connie.
Like that. Hiya, Connie. I said, coming, Connie. I did the little reeds on the vintage shutters are there all year round because they're not Christmas trees. So I just added. Somebody's touched that painting and it's crooked.
Be me.
It will be you. And I just added white bows to make it look Christmas, and to make it look warmer, I added a pink fur rug, an area rug in pink fur, which was Wayfair. It's Wayfair if anybody wants one. The Christmas bauble thing, David made me that about
clever little battery
10 years ago. No swearing, please, David.
I forgot.
About 10 years ago that was made. So then we've come through it all. As I said, I like everything to keep Christmas. Anywhere I had pillows on the trunks and things, I put Christmas pillows. There's wreaths on anything that I can hang it from. Lights on every single windowsill with little vignettes of different things. Usually the console table in the hallway, it's got a flower arrangement on it, which I didn't want to do fresh flowers, so I did an arrangement in. It's a Christmas tree base, but I wanted it to look like an arrangement. I didn't want it to particularly look like a tree, but they're just little cheap trees that I use. I put them in a vase. Take the stands away if you're going to do it. Don't use those horrible plastic stands. Put Oasis in a vase or a nice pot, and then shove the tree into it, and it makes it look more expensive. And even though I don't like monochromatic, I can't stand monochromatic trees, I hate it. I did do this all in green and gold, just because it picked up the green of the curtains and things to make it. I don't like matchy rooms. I can't stand Christmas trees that match a living room, I hate it. But in here it just works, and I used coloured lights on that one to just give it a warmth, because it's quite a cold hallway.
Look at me filming backwards.
They're very clever. Even the occasional chairs and things.
Do anything,
the
mate.
Chairs have got Christmas pillows on. I will shut that door. I've left that door open because I even have a tree in the bedroom. All the bedrooms have got trees in. I did have floor standing when we lived in Spain. I had a great big one because the bedroom was 10 times bigger. But in here, just a small tree, and it's done in pink roses and blush and white to match the bedroom because it's pink and white, and I want it to have a romantic air. God knows why. I'm trying to keep romance alive, though, you see.
It's dead.
So, is romance died?
Romance is
so
dead.
Even the bar top, people asked me on a photograph the other day, by the way, where the mirrored bar top table came from, and it's not, it's just a mirror. It's a vintage mirror that's sat on top of a table. And to make the mirror look older, you can't do it with a new mirror. I wanted it to have the silvering coming off the mirror, like you can see here. So I actually I took the back off the mirror and laid it down and tipped vinegar onto it, so it started to actually break the silvering off.
Dead Jasmine.
To make it look old. Again, wreaths on everything, candles everywhere.
Connection's breaking up really bad for some reason. I don't know why.
Got a clue. We don't know.
It keeps coming back on, going off and coming back on. So we apologise. I don't know why.
We apologise if we've got bad connection. We can't do much about that. Could be the weather.
Yeah.
You're checking things.
It's fine.
So this is David's study, which I wanted it to look. I'll walk that side of the camera for you. I wanted it to have the appearance of sort of Santa's office, where he'd be checking the naughty list, and so I did it with a vintage train set, and the tree is all in glass vintage ornaments. There's elves in absolutely everything that you can look at. You've got that actual appearance that...
It will reconnect.
There we go, it's reconnected again. I wanted it to have that appearance that it was Santa's workshop type thing. So David will sort of zoom in and show you what I've done, because these elves that are wired into, it's not a window, obviously it's a mirror, and the mirror is, the garlands are wired to the mirror. Philly found me the mirror online. I was looking for one that looked like a Georgian window frame, and then these elves that are wired into it all over, and the tops of the clocks, even the throw pillows, David's desk. I even have David use a red laptop because it matches the room. I couldn't have the blue one.
God forbid if I had blue.
No, the blue one didn't look right, so
God forbid.
It had to have that one in it. And obviously we have to have a reindeer.
Oh, there's
sat
Bambi.
at the end, so it's not Bambi, it's Dasher.
Dasher.
Dasher sat there. I didn't want Rudolph, I thought he was common. So I will take you into the drawing room where we sit every night.
The yellow drawing room.
Which doesn't look so yellow because everything in the drawing room is red. Again, I take everything out of the room, every lamp, every table, every ornament, every book, because every single thing has to be replaced by Christmas. So all the throw pillows have gone to Christmas. These red velvet ones, I think they're Macy's in the States, with the pom-poms on. These ones I actually picked up yesterday in a garden centre in Alderley Edge.
Nicola, those are the ones I'm talking about.
So I got those. David spotted them for me because I just couldn't find an accent pillow that I liked. I don't really like in here generic Christmas pillows that say Christmas or got Santa's heads on, apart from my needlepoint ones, which are so old. They're actually vintage needlepoint, and these tiny ones of those scattered about. So where should we start? The tree is a new tree by
Balsam Hill.
Balsam Hill, which I've got to say I'm not thrilled with. If you're going to invest in a Balsam Hill tree, think about it, to be honestly truthful, because I'm not that thrilled with it. One, it was far too thick to put the ornaments into the tree, which I'll explain how that's done. So I actually had to get wire cutters and cut branches out of the tree, so obviously my guarantee is nil and void. So that was a bit of a thinger. The tree's in a pot. The tree is 9 feet. If anybody wants to know the height, it's a 9-foot tree. And the tree's decorated, i.e. the lights go on first, and it's decorated from the centre pole. Don't go into the tree too much, stand back to me so I can explain it, love.
I was shown in the baubles.
You don't need to do yet, love. You decorate the tree from the centre. Never just hang all the ornaments on the outside of the tree. Put the tree up, leave it for about 2 days before you even put lights on it, so it warms to the room, because it will change shape as it warms up even if it's fake. And then the lights are wound across each branch in and out, and there is over 1,200 lights on the tree, starting with coloured ones at the centre out to white on the end. The colour give it a warmth in the middle. And then decorate the tree. If David does come in, you can actually...
Oh, am I allowed to come in now?
now?
Oh, thanks.
In the centre of the tree, I use less expensive pieces, which are through there, which you can see in the back, because that gives the tree depth. If you just decorate the outside of the tree doesn't have any depth. It looks dead in the middle, so you need to hang from the centre pole out, and then keep your nice accent pieces for the outside. Of course, our tree is all 90% Christopher Radko and anything from the 1950s, 60s and 70s. There's ornaments on the tree that were my nana's, my mum's, aunties, all the things from childhood are on there. You can't create a vintage look family tree like that by going and just buying it. It doesn't work like that. It's got to be built. That collection has took us over 20... David and I have been together 21 years, and I was collecting that before I was with David, so it's took about 23 years. There is over 800 pieces hung on the tree, 800, and it took almost 48 hours to actually hang every ornament, till 2 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning. And this is why I didn't like the tree. I can't get all of them on because I've got over 1,000, so I had to put some away. So that's the way we did it. The presents under the tree are fake, I will tell you, because I don't like real gifts to be under a tree. I've never liked real gifts to be under a tree, because if they do, the minute you take them away, your tree doesn't look good. You've spoilt the illusion of everything. So do fake ones for under the tree if you want it to look like that all the time. All the Christmas crackers, obviously, as always, are original 1970s and 60s crackers that are in crepe paper. I refuse to have those hideous
Can't use them. Not allowed.
cardboard crackers. They're allowed to be used on Christmas Day, Paul, and then I buy more on auction during the year. I won't use those hideous cardboard crackers that they sell everywhere now. Why you can't get crepe paper crackers anymore, God, you never normally knows. Drives me insane. There was something else I was just going to tell you with the tree. I added candle lights this year, which I'm quite pleased with as well, because it gave it a more Victoriana feel. But that I'm quite pleased with. And every year we collect a new ornament that goes on the tree. This year we've gone slightly overboard with new ornaments. Well, I haven't, David has. And then I wanted the rest of the room to stay cohesive, but this year I didn't particularly want ornaments, Christmas ornaments off the tree. I didn't want them in other things. So I've used some red baubles, which are in the garlands, which are lit, and the mantelpiece. So the window ledge, before we do that, the trees on the window ledge are styrofoam cones that have got the poinsettias, the silk poinsettias pressed into them, because it's like floristry foam. And they come as the cone shape. David did those for me. They took you, what, no more than 20 minutes?
Yeah, I made them.
And obviously I've already got the urns. And I just wanted the windowsills to balance, so they were the same. The garland on there, it's over the mirror. Have we gone offline again?
No, carry on.
Oh, the garland over the mirror, David shows you.
I've just blocked someone.
Oh, have you? Somebody being nasty.
John Laudo, is it?
Never heard of him.
Said who cares?
Never heard
So I
of him.
blocked the cunt.
That's nice language, David, when it's got to go on YouTube.
Yeah, it can still go.
Ignore people. People are very jealous and very sad. The garland that goes across the mirror matches all the other ones, and this year I did use just a few red baubles, and it's mostly beaded and sequin poinsettias and ribbon. I wanted to use ribbon, which I've not used ribbon for quite a few years, into things, and then it goes through onto the mantelpiece as well. So people always ask me how I get that to look so thick, and it's not. I've got that radiogram a bit.
It's too high.
That's turn that down. The reason it's thick is because it's a generic garland that you can buy, a cheap generic garland, which is weighted into the fireplace at either end. But then each panel, all the twigs, all the branches are individual picks that are stuck in. None of it's wired together, so it just pulls apart again after Christmas, and then you can change it to a different theme. And I wanted to keep it to greens, mostly greens with red roses, poinsettias, ribbons. Everybody's seen the post that David's put on with the Thomas Piscini pieces. These are all glass, for those that did see them. And he's took it a little bit far because he's ended up buying me everyone from the collection. So but I've got two. I've got two of the snowmen, but one Santa, and then on the other table there's carol singers to it as well. But I like to keep, it just keeps everything together. Even the books, every magazine, the books on the accent table behind David, they're all Christmas books. I don't allow anything to be in the house that's nothing to do with Christmas. So no ordinary magazines, no ordinary books. All the books are put away and all the Christmas books come out. The cabinet's full of a collection of China Santa Clauses.
With me.
My collection of snow globes. I have an obsession with snow globes, so they're all inside the glass cabinet. What else is in here? That's the other Piscini piece. Even the lampshades, I like to have a little wreath. I just like everything to pull together. The wreath above the fireplace, I commissioned a carpenter to make me the Believe sign, which I wanted it to be identical to the one that's outside Macy's in New York. So I had to get the picture and send it to him. And he cut it, and it's cut from MDF. And it just arrived bare wood. We sprayed it and then glittered it, so it had the glittered effect to go across the middle of it. I don't think there's anything else in here to show. David will just scoot you round. But if you've got any questions, you want to ask me something, how it's made or how it's done or where it comes from, ask me and I'll tell you. It's not as if I'm not going to tell you.
I've missed loads of comments, so I can't go back now.
Well, we'll go back to comments. We'll do a comment. We'll reel back comments.
I won't be able to go back. There's too many.
Well, you could tell me something there.
I forgot them.
We'll go through to the kit.
Yeah, I want that barrel, Tom.
What barrel?
Tom said you'll win the Admiral competition for those decks.
Right then, I like the kitchen as well to be Christmas. Even when I had a separate kitchen and a separate formal dining room, which I've not got a formal dining room anymore, I turned it into the study, and we eat in the kitchen all the time. I still think if you've got a separate kitchen, your kitchen should be full of Christmas, because if you face it, over the holidays, you spend more time in the kitchen than you do anywhere else. You're cooking in there, you know, you're stuck in there on Christmas Day, so why should you not see Christmas in it? So I took it through the kitchen. Now, I had done this kitchen once until my friend Philly saw it and said, oh, I think it could stand some more.
Oh, people are asking, can they just see the close-up of the red cones I made?
Oh, yeah.
I'll just
Let's
go
back through to the drawing room and
I'll just show you again. They're
I'll
quite
take it
easy.
off and then I can show you.
They're just
This one's
polystyrene.
easier
Look.
for me to get off. So that lifts off. It's very Blue Peter-ish.
It's just polystyrene cone shape.
Polystyrene floristry cones, which you buy online. I bought the biggest ones that they did.
And you just...
And it's just that. And if you've not got the urns, I've had the stone urns for years and years and years. Just use a plastic plant pot and spray it to match whatever colour scheme you're doing, or red and a bow round it. You know, you don't have to spend a fortune. The actual poinsettias, if I'm being honest with you, are over 20 years old.
Yeah, we've had them aged. And you just cut the stems down and just push them into the foam.
Poinsettias that are cut
It's
off.
easy.
And I have big black trash sacks.
Be creative, Jasmine Morgan. No, make your own.
And they're just full to the brim of poinsettias in whites and reds and things that we keep, because every year I'll change them. And I used a lot of the poinsettias last year on the banister rails in the house. I haven't got a banister rail this year. So, well, that was a new acquisition. I bought a little antique. It's a cake stand, but I wanted somewhere for all nuts and chocolates and sweeties to go over Christmas, because I don't like them all on the coffee table, because you can't put coffee down on
I'll eat them tonight.
anything you won't. So, we're back to the kitchen. So, absolutely everything in the kitchen got covered.
Shall I just
Every
do
shelf, you do a nice little
I'll do a little
scoot round.
little scoot round. Santa's car lock.
That was cheap. That's from Home Bargains. If anybody wants to know where that was from, that's one of the new things I bought in here. It's not an expensive one. The garlands, every garland is covered with baubles in greens, reds, blues. There's robins and full of toys, nutcracker soldiers, gingham ribbon. Because I want to say Christmas Eve. The cookie jars are China.
It is from the range.
I think that's from the range. There's quite a few of those snowmen. But most of the stuff we already had, because there's boxes of it. The cookie jars are China, which I bought on Los Olas Boulevard in America about 15, 16 years ago.
Recipe book.
All the recipe books come out that are Christmas. Cans, everything, even the fruit bowls, the windows.
Tea, sugar, coffee.
All my coffee mugs and things get put away, and every coffee mug is Christmas. They're either Kath Kidston or... Well, you don't go too far while I'm on one thing. Stay with me while I'm on it, darling. They're either Kath Kidston or, you know, just generic China coffee mugs and things. And then over here, this is my baby's tree. This is my grandchildren's tree, because everything on the tree is either a photograph of them or their name or something they've made me when they were babies. So it goes on that tree, and I keep that little tree. It's my baby's tree. So that's how it. All the garlands are exactly the same. It's got the same stuff in every single one that comes through. The cards on the doors are vintage. The cards on the doors are from the 60s. They're all Christmas cards that I actually sent to my mum and dad when I was a child, or had been sent to me as a child. So I bring all those back out every year. Not all of them, because there's too many. And then in this wreath, the cards as well. And the calendars that are in the doors are calendars I made when I was at school. Did you do that shelf up there with the canisters? That
Yeah, I think I did do that shelf.
The Americana ones. That's a nice collection. So it looks quite cute.
The lampshade.
And then, of course, I did the chandelier. I don't like things hanging from the ceiling, and I couldn't do it in the living room, but over the table, I like it. Too close. And then I did nutcrackers across the top of the stove mantle, the mantelpiece on the stove. I did with nutcrackers. And all to match. This was a new find this year. I found this in an antique shop in Lytham. the dome. Not the stand, the cake stand I had. And I just did a nice little vignette in it with fake snow and trees. And it's just a loose thing that comes off, which I think is quite nice for Christmas.
Medica.
This was bought in Vegas at Ross Dress for Less. So even when we're on holiday, if it's, you know, or on vacation somewhere, if it's the middle of the year, I still buy Christmas stuff. This is why there's so much. The house is bigger than the other house, but it's not got as much space, so I couldn't put quite as much out as I normally do. If you think this is less, there's an old saying, less is more, but more's better.
Yes, Lynn.
Who's asking that? What was that?
Lynn's saying, is your mum locked in her room with wine?
Yes, she is.
She's locked in her room, do not exit.
Right, so do you want to reel back out if there's any questions or anything?
I made that as well.
Yeah, David made me those. Again, it's on a styrofoam base. They're just styrofoam bases.
Put tinsel around it first, then
that
glue.
That one's wrapped with tinsel and then the baubles.
Then glue balls on it.
Okay, but they're the old glass, which if you're going to make it, I would advise to use plastic if you're going to make them. Got David to use glass baubles and vintage ones, which is silly because they break really, really easily once they're pressed into the glue, and I have to get him to keep changing them. So
yeah, Charles has said, Nana, how do you dust? Hold on, I've lost it. Hold on, I've lost it. How do you dust all these it keeps going. Sorry guys, hold on. How do you dust all this between years? Is it with a slow hairdryer or you brush by hand?
Well, to dust the Christmas ornaments, I'll just have a feather and dust and whiz over them. But at the end of the day, you can't physically clean the house when it's this full. To that extent. So, you know, what I do is once it all comes down, then I scrub it. But I certainly don't start removing it all to clean it every 5 minutes.
Liam's asking...
No intentions. Our Liam.
No, when do you start putting up... You've done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
When do you start putting the decks up?
Oh, when do I start putting them up? I thought you were going to say when do I start putting them up. This has took about 3 weeks to do the entire house. It's took about 3 weeks to do the entire house. Just show across there.
What ships in a glass bottle, Paul?
What ships?
Paul said, how do you get those ships in a glass bottle?
Oh, he's talking rubbish. Is it Nancy, Paul?
Yeah.
He's just making up stupid comments.
Someone else I'm going to delete in a minute then.
Right, so is there any other questions?
Well, there's probably...
Do you want to reel back, see if there's any questions before we make some cream?
Can't go back. I'm froze. It's froze.
Is it frozen? Right, well, if you want to ask a question, because we're having such a problem with the connection today, just ask again. That's the easiest way. If you've asked something and I've missed the question, just ask me the question again and I'll answer you now, okay? Because that'll be the easier way to do it. I suppose it's really difficult when everybody's watching and I'm talking so much for David to get the questions in at the same time, or otherwise we'd be on the air for 3.5 hours.
Andrew Robley said, I was in Fortnum and Mason's this week and your display is much prettier.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. But it's one at Fortnum's is my favourite store at Christmas. And last year, David and I were in Fortnum's and I saw the most beautiful, which I can't start getting it all out the silver cabinet, but I saw the most beautiful silver cake stand that I absolutely adored in Fortnum's. And on Christmas morning it was there. Because he's just like that, you see. So I got that. So I like anything that's from Fortnum's, I've got to admit.
Tom, no, the decorations are not vegan, love.
No, nothing's vegan. No vegan for that either.
Thanks, Kieran. Kieran just loves it. He said it's lovely.
Thanks, Kieran, my darling.
Where did you get the owls from? Which ones do you mean?
Which ones? The ones in the study.
These ones?
They came from America a few years ago. And the bigger ones were from Costco a few years ago.
I actually went to Costco this year, but they haven't got any.
They seem to do it for what they seem to do things once in Costco, and then they don't do it the following year. That annoys me, because I did want more of those. I wanted to do elves that they were climbing up the cabinets and all this carry on, but they just didn't have any more. And I like those ones because they've got china faces and the hands are like bendy toys. There's wire in them, and you can actually manipulate them to sit or stand how you want it to sit.
Chris Charles said, "FT Ever's done you a treat with your new tint. Looks
stunning.
You. Cinnamon Christmas," he said.
Yeah, I am. I'm cinnamon twist. Cinnamon twist for Christmas. And actually, FT's not done it. I've done my own hair for once. Because FT's been shut. I'm itching for next week. Don't get me started about lockdowns and freaking, what's it called?
Sybil, have a go of them, love. They're fabulous, piss easy to make.
Who's asking?
Sybil said she loves the styrofoam trees.
Oh, Sybil's
It's a good idea. She's going to have a go, yeah.
Oh, lovely. It's so easy, Sid. And they're fabulous for if you're going to do them for actually in a bar or a pub, they are amazing. That the only trouble is they break very easily. They actually do.
Especially when you get to the top,
very,
you know,
very
the point bit.
So
the top
people
bit.
do have a tendency to mess with them.
Like me.
So I'll get some stuff out and we're going to make some Irish cream.
The dame's watching, are you?
Hello, my darling, my lovely Dame Tony Duval.
Sure, it looks amazing. Sharon, we're contemplating to be honest, I've put a tree up in the bar, but I've not dressed it yet.
It just doesn't seem pointless because I was going to talk about the lockdown afterwards, but we're not allowed to open because we're in tier 3. So we're not allowed to open, period. I know they review it every 2 weeks. They're not going to take us to tier 1, which would be the only way we could open, because we don't do food. So if they drop it to tier 2, we're still not going to be able to open, you know? Which neither are 90% of my other friends that own bars and pubs and things. It's unless you do food, you're okay. And then it's not going to be very good, because you can only... The new rule is, as they finish their dinner, they've got to sling them out. So you can't just decide to do food for £1 and let people sit there all night nursing an hot dog. You can't do it. It's, you know, and people are going to get in trouble if they do it. So it's Hobson's choice, and it is what it is. There's no point moaning about it. I disagree with it completely, about the whole thing. I got shouted at on Facebook the other day for what I actually put. I do believe it's a man-made virus that's got out of hand. Don't care if you don't agree with me. There was the girl said it was made in a laboratory and it's got out of hand. I think it's germ warfare that's got out of hand. So, and I don't care what they say. And I think half of it, and if you don't agree with me and you want to, you know, do what you want, but I think half of it with the government is control. I think a lot of it's controlled. You can't pick and designate areas. It doesn't add up. So what they're saying is you can get coronavirus if you sat in a pub, but you can't get coronavirus if you sat in a pub and you're eating. And you can't get it when you're in Asda or Tesco's or Sainsbury's, when you're in a queue of people that are only like the distance of me and David apart, because that's social distance, and of course you can't get it. And they've not even proved that it's airborne. It's an absolute, unadulterated load of old crap, and it's to force us all to be trapped in over Christmas.
Tom, I didn't realise there was four different types of those elves. They look better in our place. Bring them around to me.
Right, can you just... Yes, Tom's got some of those elves as well.
I know, yeah. Yes. Alex, Natras, hi darling.
Hello, my gorgeous bar.
So do you do one room at a time or all at the same time?
Who asked that?
Alex.
Alex did. No, I do one at a time, sweetheart. I work from the whole house. I will put things like the gardening, the green, all the greenery, the Christmas trees, the greenery, the wreaths, everything, because they're naked. They will go up in every room first. I will do all that. Then I'll go back to every room and put the lights and everything. Then I go back and do each room then individually, because all the stuff is in these great big plastic storage bins, and each one is labelled of what's in it. I don't just fling them anywhere. I can actually pick a bin out, and I know that that bin is all ribbon, or it's all red ornaments, or it's all this, and so it's easier to do their room at a time. But the actual start of it, I put everything up right through.
Are you, Shirley? I suppose it's very hard, to be honest, love.
It takes 2 or 3 days.
Shirley said, how hard is it to know what to leave out? I've not got enough room for all my stuff and I'm finding it really difficult. Just pick your best ones.
Well, I take what stuff, darling? Your Christmas stuff.
Obviously on about Christmas decoration.
Oh, well, you see,
she's on about she's got that much decorations, don't know what to leave out.
Stuff away,
get it all out, it's Christmas.
I do the room different each year. I don't change it. I don't change the theme, but it looks different because I put things in a different place. But I take all my ordinary everyday stuff out of the room first, so that I can fill it with Christmas, and then all the lamps and things. To be truthful, when we lived in ordinary houses, they were shoved in the loft, they were in wardrobes, they were under the bed. So all my ornaments and books and everything are removed.
Yes, Jasmine.
Replace it with Christmas. So that's the easiest way to do it, because I like everything to be Christmas. Even the crockery and the china on the shelves, the everyday china, everything's Christmas.
Changes to Christmas.
Awesome.
After Thanksgiving.
I take all, even the phone I changed to a red phone, so it goes with it.
Mental.
I remove all the crockery, all the china, and to be true, because there's so much of it, the dinner service is shoved under the bed in the bedroom. It's all in boxes pushed under the bed because there's that much stuff. And then I replace it with
It's madness, Kieran. You're right, love. I live with it. Jasmine, get a pen and paper and write this recipe down. Jasmine
oh,
said,
Jazz, we're making it, my darling.
Make us some Irish cream.
She's at my, once you make homemade Irish cream, I swear to God, you will never buy it. Ever. And I'm going to talk you through the ingredients.
Sorry if I've missed your message.
We do it, and you're not going to believe what it's made.
Sharon, we do decorate our bedroom just with one tree. We did show that, but unless you missed it.
Which Sharon?
Denby.
Hi Sharon Denby. Yes, I've got a pink Christmas tree in the room. You must have missed it at the beginning.
While Terry's just laying that out, I'll quickly show it you again. Here. There you go. Right, and we're back.
Even, I'm over here. I'm just opening a can. Even the bathroom...
A can of what, Foster's?
No. Even the bathroom, Sharon, has got Christmas towels, Christmas... While we're doing this, don't ask me a question if it's do this, because I'm not writing the ingredients down online. You will only get these ingredients if you're watching this video, okay? So you want a large mixing bowl, and into your mixing bowl, you're going to put 1 can of carnation evaporated milk, okay? Any brand of milk is good, but it needs to be evaporated milk. That one just happens to be carnation. A whole can. I'm going to get a towel because I end up with it all over my paws. Then into that one, you want a can of sweetened condensed milk. Okay, this is the condensed one that's thicker. Now I'm making this as one. When I actually do make it for us, I actually make quadruple the quantity I'm making now. I'm just doing this for purposes of this, okay? Then into that, you want approximately 1 tablespoon of vanilla essence, okay? And then 1 tablespoon of glycerin, okay? You can buy glycerin like this in little bottles in all supermarkets that it's near the cake flavours and things. You use it to make icing, okay? That's all into 1 bowl. Give that a good whisk because the condensed milk has a tendency to separate from the evaporated milk. Okay.
They're all Laura Ashley Dean.
What work?
The drapes in the bedroom.
Yeah, all the drape in every room in the house. All cushions, pillows, throw pillows, soft furnishings, everything is Laura Ashley. It's all vintage Laura Ashley, darling. I can't have anything else that'd make me ill. Right, then you want another jug.
Sharon, who's putting angry faces? Tell me who they are and I'll delete them.
Boil your kettle. Okay. And we are going to put in here, you want 1 tablespoon of instant coffee. It's the only thing, in my opinion, that instant coffee is good for. I can't stand the stuff. Tablespoon of instant coffee. And then 2 tablespoons of instant hot chocolate. Use the instant one. Don't use the one that you've got to start mixing milk with it. Okay? So I'll recap for you so far. In your bowl, you've got a can of evaporated milk, a can of condensed milk, a tablespoon of vanilla essence, a tablespoon of glycerin. In your jug over there, you've got 2 tablespoons of instant hot chocolate mix and 1 tablespoon of coffee. Okay? Then the merest amount of water,
just so you can mix it together. Just
so it melts, and you melt the coffee granules in, and keep stirring it because you don't want lumps of coffee. And don't use camp coffee, the liquid coffee. It's got a very chicory flavour to it, and it won't work. And I use a good instant coffee. It's not a really cheap one. It's that one that begins with N. Because I shouldn't have said the brand of the the condensed milk either, because I'm not allowed.
You didn't, did you?
Yes, I did.
Well, that's why you took the labels off.
There are other brands of condensed milk available. Just in case I get in trouble when it goes onto YouTube. So make sure you get that nicely mixed till it's got every granule has gone. And then just take the temperature down in there. Cup measurement or a teacup doesn't make any difference. And you want a cup of whiskey.
You could put more in, I suppose, can't you, if you want to?
You could put more or less.
Depends how strong you like it, isn't it, Jasmine? She'll have 2 in there.
I will actually put a cup and a half because me and my Jasmine like to be off our heads on it. There's no point lying. And then into that.
Just write it down, Gary, and when you get your glycerine, you can do it. Oh, Jasmine said put the bottle in.
Yeah. And that is your Irish cream. Done, made, dusted. Now, remember, the more liquid you're putting in, the more of this, the thinner that this will be. If you want it to be thicker, because this will also go thicker when you chill it, I must admit. But if you want it to be thicker, put double the consistency of the condensed milk and the evaporated milk, okay? But I can assure you, once you've made it, that to make the equivalent of a bottle of the branded one, which is, I don't know how much the branded one is, how much
you can get it for £15 at the moment.
So for £15, that has actually cost me, because I costed it out this morning, that whole amount of that bottle has cost £3.75. Which in the States is about $5.50.
Charles said, can you use a liqueur whiskey like Drambuie?
If you so wish.
I would have thought so. I'm sure it'd work with anything, wouldn't it?
You're wasting, you're
Whis-
actually wasting something good. You're better to use.
Charles, whiskey's cheap enough over there anyway. Just buy a cheap bottle of whiskey.
Honestly, and the other thing I will tell you is as well, it works fabulous if you do it with brandy. It's got a slightly different taste. My friend Connie, who's watching, she drinks brandy. So if you do it with brandy, it's fabulous.
Gary Barlow's asking, does it have to be glycerine or can you use anything else?
No, it's got to be glycerine, and I'll explain why.
Because he hasn't got that. So you'll have to get some, Gary, I'm afraid.
Right. So all you need to do, go and nick to Asda, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, all of them sell it.
Jasmine's just poured herself a glass of Baileys because it's making her want one.
Good girl.
But look after my grandkids.
The glycerine stops the two milks separating. If you don't put the glycerine in, it doesn't present the vodka. Vodka. That's because I'm obsessed with vodka. Jasmine's having a drink. The whiskey preserves it. This will last in the refrigerator. Keep it in the refrigerator. Don't keep it on a bar or on a bar table. It will go off. But in the refrigerator, that will last for about 3 months. Not that it lasts more than 3 hours.
I'll have a little glass.
In this house. I'm going to do you a glass, my darling.
Oh,
I had a
thanks.
feeling you would.
Because Kieran said, are you tasting it?
So,
Are you on about me, Kieran, or Terry? Terry, I suppose, aren't you?
we'll both have one, my darling, seeing it's
Phil said, send him a bottle, he's parched.
Philly, you should be making it now, love.
Gary said he's going to go to the shop in a minute after he's watched
Because
this.
apart from my Jasmine, my Phil, it's his favourite drink as well.
Oh, Gary's got to go to the shop because he's got all the other stuff in the bowl ready.
Well,
apart from the glycerine.
So you just need your glycerine. You could drink it without the glycerine, but the glycerine will preserve it. If you're going to dollop it down in 1 night or 2 nights, fine. But the glycerine gives it the silkiness.
There you go, Gary. If you're going to drink it all tonight, you won't need to go and get the glycerine. Oh, look at that. Merry Christmas, everyone.
I also don't store it in the fridge in a jug. I store it in bottles, and I buy those. What they call those bottles?
Well, Charles is asking, can you bottle this as long as it's chilled and have it as gifts?
Yes, of course you can, Charles. I've done it as gifts. I buy those bottles in Spain. I buy them from the Chinese shops. They've got like old-fashioned Coke bottles with the metal ring pull, like Grolsch bottles.
Bedpans?
Not bedpans.
No.
And you can buy them over here in pound shops and things like that, in yellow and green and red and things like that. And I buy those to put it in. I don't keep them. I throw them away because they're only a quid.
You do it, Abby. Get on it, love.
You're humping everything about, aren't you, Sim? So I can't be bothered.
Chin chin.
Glasses. There you go, David. Have a try.
Chin
chin. Cheers, everybody, and welcome to our Christmas house. Let's have a little sippy roo. Divine.
Jesus, that's strong.
That's because I put a cup and a half of
It's
whiskey
nice.
in it.
Oh, God. Put hairs on your chest for
So
that.
there you go. If you want it to be a bit more like the bottled one, put less whiskey in, obviously. I like it to be a little bit loaded with the whiskey.
Kilner jars.
Having it if you're not
Kilner jars? Is that what the Kilner? Is that the
you
right?
put it in Kilner jars, but the bottle.
Marie's saying Kilner jars.
Hang on.
Cheers, queers. Cheers.
I've got a bottle I can show you because I keep my. It's only a little one though. Where is it? Well, I've said I've got a bottle.
Oh, he's found glycerine. Well done, Gary. Well done, Gary.
Those. See, I have them for my olive oil, the little ones that do that. It's got
Suction. It's like a suction
like a
top,
metal
isn't it?
thing on the top.
They're nice to give us little gifts.
You can buy them in pound shops and things.
How much are they?
And they do big ones. £1 in a pound.
Are they?
Yeah, £1. And you can get the little ones are £2 for £1. And you can get the big ones of that. But they're what I use. And I think that's perfect. Or even better, if you want to con people, keep the bottle off a real bottle of it and fill it up, because I've done that before as well.
Oh, you're welcome, Shirley. Shirley said thanks for showing everyone. She's going out. It looks delicious. She's going to do it tomorrow.
Oh, good girl, Shirley.
It's on her list.
Good girl. I've tipped it all down the kitchen units now. Look at that. So we could take that and go and have a little sip.
Charles. Yes, Charles, you can.
What?
Charles said, can you add a drop more whiskey after it if a cup isn't enough? You make it as strong as you like, Charles.
I put a cup and a half in it, Charles. But as I keep saying to you, the more whiskey you're going to put in it, the thinner the consistency of it.
So the more condensed cream you'd have to use.
So remember, I put a cup and a half in that, which is the equivalent. I've got in that glass the equivalent of a quadruple whiskey. If you break down what that cup and a half of whiskey is, so it's strong.
Hiya, Karen. Well, darling. Thank you very much. Kieran, what are you laughing at? How much are they? I was laughing at that. How much are they? They're £1, love.
We'll have a sit down.
Oh, can I sit? I've not sat down for weeks. I've not been allowed. Not been allowed to sit on this furniture.
No, you're not allowed to sit in drawing rooms. Only after 6. So it's a rarity to be sat in here at this time of day.
It's a rarity, this.
So have we got any other questions or anything? Does anybody want to know anything else? Anybody want me to kick off more about the lockdown? And the fact it's ruining the entertainment industry and ruining the hospitality industry.
Connie, get on it, love. Get making it.
Connie, you'll have some when you come over, love. Because don't forget, we've got that bread. Oh, we've been.
Oh, and Connie, they do it in vegetarian ones as well.
Yes, I've got to admit, by the way, the cans of condensed milk and evaporated milk I've used are vegan. I've used the vegan one because my friends are vegan, so you can't tell the difference. I've used the vegan one today. So you can make it with any of it. You know, the ordinary one, the vegan one. And to be honest with you, truthfully, if I was you, I would buy the cheapest one from the cut price supermarkets. Because if you're going to make it in abundance like I do, don't make too much in one go. Don't start thinking, oh, well, I'll do 4 cans of that and 4 cans of that, which I do sometimes. It's better to make small amounts because you've seen how quick it is to make. And the longer it's in the fridge, the nicer it is. The colder and colder it goes, the much nicer it is.
Gary, I fell asleep, but Terry can answer that question. What do you think of the Dolly Parton Christmas on the Square?
Unadulterated load of old codswallop. I've never seen a bigger load of crap. I can't stand movies where they sing non-stop.
You like them, Barry?
I may as well go and see an opera. Barry likes what?
Your slippers.
Oh, thank you, Barry.
Do you like my socks, Barry?
I've got them in black as well.
Look at my socks, Barry.
I can't stand movies where they sing. What was that one that Madonna did that you like?
Evita.
I couldn't stand that. I like a musical with spoken word and then a song popped in. You know, like Calamity Jane.
Karen, we've just done the tour.
Unadulterated load of old rubbish, that. And
I'll show you.
Did that film for, as much as I'm an obsessive Dolly fan, she did that film as a god-bothering film.
Karen's not seeing the living room. She must be late.
Well, she could watch the rerun.
I'll just show her, just quickly. And the tree. And that. There you go, Karen. That's just for you.
There we go. Yes, it was crap. I love Dolly. And
Total Camp Charles said the
Dolly's film. But when I see that those films that she's actually produced and made herself, that drives me insane because I know exactly what they're going to be. And Dolly dressed as a down and out. Dolly dressed as a homeless person in a full matching grey outfit with grey scarf.
When she's worth about 500 million. Yes, Richard. full lockdown shite. I totally agree. And let's get some more questions.
Find some more questions.
Hi, Sonia.
Just give me 1 second while I turn that light off.
What light? Rubbish Dolly Parton movie, Karen. Did she not like it, love? I fell asleep on it. It was shit.
That light was in my eye that was on the end of the hall. What was any questions? What we got?
No. Just saying I agree the film was shocking. Switched it off after 15 minutes.
Oh, I couldn't stand it.
Thanks, Karen.
Was that matching grey outfit with the scarf poised purposely? And
when we be back on stage?
When are we back on stage?
Who knows?
Never only knows. I would love to be back on stage. A proper show. I might do a Christmas show from the pub via the internet. But it's now almost a year since I've been actually on stage, like a lot of my other friends that have performed. So it's horrendous.
We might do another night like we done in the summer.
It's
a bit of cabaret and a bit of chat after and get pissed.
You know, all Christmas tours were cancelled. So if you own a venue that you're allowed to
Evening,
put cabaret
Craig.
on and you're doing meals and you're a restaurant, ask me, I'll willingly bring the show.
Bye, Jazz. Speak to you later, darling.
Just itching to get back on stage. I never thought I would say I miss being on stage so much as I do. I always thought I was ready for retirement and I'm not.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Bettis.
Good afternoon, my darling. Our Charlie's joined us, my lovely Charlie Bear over there in Benalmadena. Hello, my darling. If you only just joined us, you've missed the tour.
Gary Bolo said, what was those Christmas ornaments or soldiers you brought recently?
Which ones, darling? The ones that David bought me.
The ones
Gary.
I brought, Gary.
The Thomas Piscini one.
I think it was them.
They're the ones that are on the mantelpiece on here. And they're in various other places. Because like everything David does, he has to overdo it. So it's about me having to do everything in excess. He does overdo things, because one was arriving every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, Jasmine, we'll save you some, of course we will.
That'll be gone, Jazz, in about an hour.
Oh, that's the wow factor. Thank you, Angela. Have you got a best room, Kieran said. Probably this room.
Yes, this room. We don't use this room until after dark, till after 6. I never ever sit in the drawing room during the day. We sit in the pink room.
Not the yellow drawing room, Kieran. Not allowed.
I can't, even when I've lived in little ordinary houses, I've always had an area that is a different area. If you're not lucky enough to have 2 rooms, I've always had a kitchen with a sofa in or something. I can't live in 2 rooms. It would drive me absolutely insane. Years ago, I actually converted a bedroom upstairs into another room so that I had another living room. I just can't live in one room all the time. It would drive me mad.
Charles said, I was walking in the street without a mask. A guy 15 centimetres from me in a bar, terrorist without a mask, screamed at me, Get your mask on. What's the point? I kicked off. I hope Nana does a Christmas chat.
Yeah, we're recording the Christmas speech next week, I think. And of course that goes out on Christmas Eve. So do we have any other questions or points of view? But it's ridiculous, isn't it, this tier system in the UK? Absolutely pathetic.
Oh, Gary, the ones I brought, yeah, it's those. What I've just zoomed in on, look. 2 there, 1 there.
One's in the glass cabinet.
And
there's one near the phone.
That's one there.
That's my green rotary phone with deodorising mouthpiece.
That one
and
there.
There's a Christmas tree one on the top of the radiogram. So he forgets then, and then David moans after Christmas that there's so much stuff to go back into storage. And now when you're going to need bigger crates, that they're in the like so big with all polystyrene around them to protect them. So
that's it. We're up to snuff. We're up to.
That is that everybody.
Yeah.
I'm marvellous. So don't forget, make your Irish cream. I want to keep calling it the brand name, but we're not allowed.
Oh, you was looking for something similar, Gary? Well, you're not buying the same. Get your own taste.
Well, they're by Thomas Piscini.
I'm joking.
And they're available on most auction sites. The trouble is...
Sharon said, where's the doggy?
My friend, he's in the bedroom with me, man.
No, we've had him put down.
He was, what am I talking about? Yeah, my friend Philly got really good bargains for this, but we ended up, not we, David ended up paying an absolute fortune for them. So,
Definitely Regina.
what's Regina asking?
Really want to meet up with you both next year in Blackpool.
Oh, I hope
for
so.
a few
I really
bevies.
hope so.
A few bevies will have more than a few, love.
Because I do, we do like our, that's what's really sort of this year has kept us sane, to be truthful, is our little Blackpool expedition.
Sonia, have you been watching the film? We're drinking homemade Irish cream that Terry's just made. Get with it. Get with it.
You're late joining us, love. So yeah, our little Blackpool trips to the wonderful Mardi Gras Hotel. I like to give them a plug because it is wonderful. It's become our little home from home this year, and they just can't go out the way enough to the way they treat us. And you know, when it's such a large group of us, there's 12 of us, and we're not exactly a quiet group, as you can well imagine.
Well, I am.
So you're not at all.
I'm very quiet. I'm the daddy.
They've just been absolutely wonderful with us. They really have. And Blackpool has kept us sane this year because obviously none of us have been able to go away. We've not been overseas. We've not been back to Spain. First year I have not toured Spain in 20 years, and it's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
Hiya, John. John from Mardi Gras on there.
Hiya, John.
We love you as well, my darling.
Again, John. So yeah, if you're looking for somewhere to stay in Blackpool, book the Mardi Gras because it is fabulous. And honestly, the best breakfast.
It's not the old Mardi Gras.
It's not the old one, it's the new one. And the best breakfast you will ever get, because Donna, it's like having cabaret while Donna's making breakfast with you.
Donna is the breakfast
you're supposed to
queen.
finish breakfast at 10 o'clock. We roll down 12 of us at 10 to 10 and then start asking her for poached eggs and ridiculous things and vegan food. And she just does it. She's amazing. She really is. And we sit for breakfast in our pyjamas and nighties and stiletto slippers. That's how we get out. We don't even get dressed. And they are wonderful with us. The best hotel.
It does, Barry. It does taste much better in a crystal glass. You're right.
These aren't crystal, Barry. These are impression ware.
Can you use cocoa instead of hot chocolate?
No, I meant to say that. The cocoa will
Hi, Nikki.
It will start to float. If you've only got cocoa, I mean, for God's sake, go out and get a
hot chocolate's not that dear to buy, is it?
Cocoa's more expensive.
Knock on my door, I'll give you a glass.
Actual cocoa, you would have to actually cook the cocoa down first, which is difficult with only a tiny bit of water, or a tiny little bit of milk or whatever. But you must cook it out. The cocoa, if you use it raw, it's not cooked, so it will have a very bitter taste. The instant chocolate, the original recipe, you were supposed to melt down chocolate, and I've adapted the recipe for you, so it's easier to make, because when you start melting chocolate, you've then got to temper it with the evaporated milk has to be warm to go through it first. It was a nightmare to make. So that is the simplest one that I've done.
Hi, Clive.
So I advise not to use cocoa. No. Hiya, Clivey. That it?
What's Sharon say? Would normally be out 6 times a year. Last time was end of January for a birthday party for a few days. It's like everybody else, Sharon, isn't it?
It's absolutely horrendous. And it's so big of them in it to let us have 3 households at Christmas.
John said, Donna's like an anorexic Peggy Mount.
She is like an anorexic Peggy Mount. You're right for all the world. She really is. For those who don't know who Peggy Mount is, Google her.
we love Donna.
We love our Donna, we really
and
do.
She makes that venue. You know she does. You know she's good for you.
But yeah, it's so good, isn't it? Because I can really see these really big estates keeping to 3 families mixing at Christmas. Yeah, right. Absolute crap. And if they don't allow everywhere to open over New Year, there will be anarchy. I predict full-on riots in the streets, because there is no way you are going to keep people in at New Year's Eve. No way on God's earth, are you? So if anybody from the government's watching, you're all insane. You think it was bad enough when you were closing place at 10 o'clock that they were tearing into the street. But now they think 11 o'clock's going to stop that happening. It's not.
Lee said he's watching you on YouTube, Windmill Productions.
Oh, you've watched the Windmill Production ones? They're quite old, aren't they?
Karen said, what time do you get up Christmas Day?
A few years ago.
Well, I'm always up quite early, Karen, to be honest.
I'm never up before 11, darling.
Karen's
I don't do the crack of dawn
midday.
I don't
Not 11, midday.
Because I don't get up at midday on Christmas Day. I get up at midday every day. Christmas Day a bit earlier, between 10 and 11. because we don't eat Christmas dinner until late. It's always 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. We have it at dinner time, not lunchtime. So I don't see the need. I don't need to. I've not got kids running around anymore. So I like to just get up and be nice.
Sonia, what date's your birthday? I can't remember now. But you're not your only one, son, celebrating on your own this year. Lots of people have. You can always go out. Get... Oh no, you're in tier 3, aren't you? In Birmingham as well. Yeah. You'll have to go round to Mum's.
Well, in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, they might be nice enough to actually let us all out. You know, like animals. Keeping us trapped in pens.
I agree, Gary, but I don't think they will, to be honest.
What?
They need to open the pubs for New Year. It's where
Gary,
the atmosphere is.
Gary, if they don't open the pubs, it's not the atmosphere. There will be full-on riots in the street. People will hold parties in streets everywhere. I am telling you, nobody is going to sit at home. The only people that are going to sit at home are the ones they're showing you on the news. The goody two-shoes is
16, Sonia.
That they're making sure that they're doing it perfect for the news. They're not showing the estates that, you know, are between Manchester and Oldham, dozens of them, where they're just tearing out in the streets. So sorry, it's a load of old rubbish.
Day before Caelan, Sonia.
Yes, it is.
You're not seeing Mum? Well, pop round, who's going to know? The lounge.
Supposed to publicise things like that.
Philco, the lounge looks gorgeous, darling. Do you also change your
I don't have a lounge, Philco. It's not a hotel.
Perfume for the season, winter season?
No, I wear the same perfume permanently. It's either Estee Lauder, Used You, or Taboo. I never wear anything else. During the day, Tweed. But I never change my perfume. Same always.
Lock-in, Regina, yeah. Come to ours for a lock-in, love, on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, we're not having a lock-in. David's talking stupid. So do we have any other questions? Or
I know, Karen.
points of view? You can't just keep saying, I know. You've got to repeat what they say.
Charlie, our Charlie, Bar Charlie.
Yeah.
It's her 30th on the 12th.
Yes, I know.
And she was, and Karen said her mum was hoping to come to the pub to celebrate. I know.
We had things planned for her.
Unfortunately.
Birthday cake, everything. That's all out the window. But we'll have to make the most of it, won't we? But it looks the way they're talking, this is till next March. So they determined they're going to
Lee, is it your birthday tomorrow? Well, Terri will do her birthdays in the morning, so you'll get an happy birthday then.
Whose birthday is it tomorrow?
Lee Davis Edmond.
Oh yes, I know. Your birthday shows me it was tomorrow, Lee, so I knew that. So everybody on my Facebook pages, both of them, get a happy birthday. So that's like, in a year, I send 8,000 birthday messages out, because there's 4,000 people on each page. Or 5,000, whatever it is.
True, Shirley.
How many is it you're allowed on Facebook? Is it 4 or 5,000?
5, isn't it? 5.
Well, then it's 10,000 a year I send. On both pages.
Shirley said, I'm gutted for you both. The George cannot open. Manchester has taken a massive hit. It's so unfair, but thinking positive and hoping it'll all be over soon. Well, so are we, love.
So we all love, but what else can you do?
What else can you do?
But at the end of the day, when I keep saying on my nightly post, when you live in a world of your own like I do, where I don't really care, doesn't affect you.
You're right, Paul.
You know, if you live if you make a fantasy world and make your fantasy world reality, like I do. I made a complete fantasy, like Christmas in the house. It's fantasy. Everything is fantasy, because I like it to look like a Hallmark Christmas film or a Hallmark card. So it's fantasy. So if you make your fantasy reality, really what's going on in the outside world doesn't affect you. If we didn't have a bar downstairs, it wouldn't bother me if I never left the house again. And it really wouldn't, because I can shop for everything online. And to be truthful, the outside world isn't a club that I wish to be a part of. I'm not interested in seeing stately homes or going to see cultural things. I couldn't give a shite for other people's culture. I couldn't when I go away on vacation. I'm not interested. I'm only interested in getting drunk and having a laugh and wearing fabulous clothes. So, you know, if you make your own fantasy world reality, then the virus and all the rest of it doesn't exist anyway. So that's the way I look at it. Best way.
Yeah, big party next year, John.
Almost definitely. Once we reopen downstairs.
Charles, we don't open Christmas presents at midnight. Always Christmas morning.
No,
Christmas
always
Day.
Christmas morning.
Not morning, Christmas Day.
I always give David something very special to open at Christmas. It's usually the front of my nightie. That's on Christmas Eve, if he's awake.
God. Please make me be asleep.
You evil cow. So do we have anything else?
No. Craig, so thank you for his birthday message. Is it today, Craig?
You're welcome, Craig. You're so welcome. Right then, well, I'm not going to ramble on.
90, John.
I know. Well, sometimes I just lift the enemy 90 up an extra inch, you know, that excites him at his age. I mean, he's over 50 now, so I can't get him too excited.
Only just.
Yeah, well, not far off 51 now, love. So, I'm not going to ramble on and keep you forever because it's Saturday afternoon. I know people have got things to do.
Like me, for one.
To start making and what have you. So, I will see you soon. We'll probably do another live cookery show in between. Don't forget, if you make the Christmas cake, you should be feeding it.
Are you feeding it brandy?
Are you feeding it? Do you want me to feed mine while I'm online with you now?
I'm being fed.
Make sure you're feeding your Christmas cake. If you made the Christmas cake once a week, 2 to 3 tablespoons of brandy once a week. Okay? And I will see you shortly. We will do another cookery live. And we will try to get a Christmas show in via the internet from the bar. Okay? And we'll do a nice little chat then.
Oh, Sharon fed hers last
You
night.
can have questions and things. So I'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you like the house because I'm quite pleased with it.
Feed it.
Eat it.
That's Liam.
And I will see you all soon.
You too, John. Take care, love.
So, I love you with all my mouth and I'll see you soon, my darling.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.